What is going on, everybody? NTC here, and today I'm going to do a little different video, something I don't normally do, or I used to do stuff kind of like this, but I haven't really done anything like this in a while. This is even a little bit more unique, but today I wanted to talk about Echo. Echo, of course, being the character that we saw at the end of the reunion animated short that premiered at BlizzCon. And I wanted to talk about her future, what we might get out of her, is she going to be a hero, all this kind of stuff. And I thought the best way to kind of open this video up was to play for you a clip. This clip comes from a live stream from BlizzCon that Jeff Kaplan did with Fran, who is an Overwatch streamer. And it's a really good clip. It's about 3 minutes long, but I think it kind of covers everything that there is to really go over, and it does just a good opening clip. So I'm going to play this clip, and then I will start discussing Echo and what I think the future has for her as a potential playable hero.
Back to come flying into that Bob.
Yeah. So was Echo just a debate, or is she actually going to be?
No, Echo's been a hero that we've been developing for a very long time.
Oh, really?
Echo first made an appearance in an early piece of concept art that Arnold Sang had done. Arnold is our brilliant assistant art director. He's the guy who's drawn most of the Overwatch characters were either drawn by Arnold Sang or Ben Zhang. And Arnold did this one lineup piece where he drew like a bunch of our characters, and Echo was in that picture. And it confused a lot of people because he put an Athena logo on her, but she's not Athena.
Yeah.
She has actually nothing to do with Athena. So sometimes what artists do is when they're drawing characters, they realize that there's like too much blank space or white space. So he was filling in, and he was trying different logos. So he tried an Athena logo. We had a Vishkar logo on her at one point.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
It would have been really cool. So anyway, Echo's like a character we've been developing for other reasons. And when we got to the reunion piece, and we're starting to work on Reunion, Reunion really is the story of how does McCree respond to the recall. And what his answer is, hey Winston, I know you want me back, but I think there's somebody even more important who can do more for you. And that's Echo.
Yeah.
So we're building her up to be more.
Yeah.
We want her to be a hero.
Yes.
Now, to set people's expectations, because I know immediately what they're thinking is like, well, Hero 30 is going to be Echo. We have big plans for. Echo is not Hero 30. I can tell them that.
Okay.
Yeah. You seem disappointed.
Well, she was. So when I watched the ceremony, and when Echo was shown in the cinematic, I thought that was going to be this hero, the 29th hero. And
Yeah.
I was so excited. And then you did like a plot twist with Ash, and then you did a bigger plot twist with Bob being her ultimate. So that was awesome. But I'm a support player, so I wanted something.
Okay. And you think in your mind Echo would be support?
That's what I'm assuming.
Okay.
She seems like.
I asked Twitch chat last time. I said, what do you guys want her to be? And what do you think? I'm reading right now. I'm seeing support. Tank. They always say tank and support.
It has to be a tank.
There was a DPS in there, tank. Now, so she'd be a challenging one to make a tank because she's a tiny character. You know,
She would
she's
have to have, like, a
smaller
shield or
than
something.
she's small. We could do it. We brainstorm ideas like that.
Wait, so you don't have an idea of what Echo is going to be yet?
I know exactly what she's gonna.
Oh, come on, you gotta tell us.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go over some of the things we know about Echo, and then I'll go a little bit more in depth into the clip and Jeff Kaplan's kind of responses and what he's said about her. So of course we know, thanks to the animated short, that she has worked with McCree in the past, and presumably was working with her or working with him around the time of the fall of Overwatch, and maybe a little bit before, maybe a little bit after. She obviously knows who Winston is, knows about Overwatch. We don't know if Overwatch created her or if she was created by someone else and then worked with Overwatch. We don't really know. And we also know that, of course, as Jeff said, she isn't Athena, right? She's a separate entity. and this is the kind of stuff we know. She didn't know that McCree had lost his arm, so that obviously was somewhat recent. That could have been during the Swiss headquarters. Who knows when she got shut down, when she got put in this crate, whatever. We don't know why she's in this crate, anything like that. But we do know these things about her. Well, Jeff went into some detail about her being, or her status as a hero, and essentially just said, yes, she's going to be a hero. And we kind of knew she was going to be a hero. He kind of teased that when he talked about her after the animated short premiered. He basically said, she's not ready yet, all this other stuff. And he further drove this point home in this clip when he said that she won't be Hero 30, which is kind of a surprise, but also kind of not a surprise. So, okay, we know we're not going to get her as Hero 30, but when can we expect her? And I think there's some very important things to keep in mind with how far or how close we are to actually getting Echo, because I think Echo is going to be a hero that we get relatively soon. And there's a couple things that Jeff said, as well as just kind of stuff I've inferred and information I've gathered and what I've looked at, and then just kind of general just thought process has led me to believe this. So the first thing is that we know Echo's being worked on, and we know that Jeff, he said very early in the clip that they've been developing her, they've been working on her for a very long time. Well, if they've been working on her for a very long time, that means a couple things. We know that she was in development prior to the game launching. The early concepts of the game included Echo. Now, that doesn't mean they knew what she was going to be, but they knew that she was going to be a character basically from the beginning. So what does this mean? Well, it means a couple big things. They've obviously been planning this for a long time, so that kind of gives us an idea of what she is in terms of stages of development. Jeff has kind of mentioned that, or he mentions it at another point in this clip, which I didn't, or in this live stream, which the full live stream will be linked in the description if you want to check it out. I just clipped the Echo part, but he talked about the fact that they have 6 heroes in different stages of development. Hero 30 is in playtesting in Blizzard HQ. Like, if you were to play Overwatch at Blizzard on one of the dev computers, Hero 30 is just in the game, right? While then you have some that are just in a concept phase, right? And we can kind of get this idea of where Echo is, because she's obviously not Hero 30, so she's not in that playtesting phase, but she's also definitely not just a concept phase. So he mentions that there's some that are in prototyping, some that are in concepts, and then obviously some that are in playtesting. I get the feeling that Echo is probably in the prototyping late stages or in the early playtesting stages, where they're kind of implementing her, seeing how she works and all this other stuff, and she's not fully worked into the game, but she is worked into the game at least enough. And I get this feeling just because of, one, she's been in the works for a very long time, but obviously if a character's in the works for a very long time, they could have just so much difficulty getting the character ready that it's just not logical, right? The way it's working right now, or it's not ready yet. They want it to be a certain way, and they want to make sure it works. They just can't quite get it. But what leads me to believe it is kind of 2 main things. One, the animated short came out, right? And Jeff Kaplan literally said, we were ready to show Echo, which means that Echo has to be far along in development. If they have a finalized design that they were confident in showing in the animated short, if there's a voice actress for Echo that they had in the animated short, if Echo wasn't at a point where she was ready to be revealed as a hero soon, they wouldn't put the animated short out, right? The animated short has been in the works for a long time as well. It takes a while to develop. If Ash was created for the animated short and they made her into a hero already, clearly that shows that Echo has also been finalized in her design, which definitely makes her past that concept phase, and doesn't necessarily mean that when they started developing the animated short, she was beyond the prototyping phase, because, the concept phase is basically saying, all right, what do we want the look to be? What do we want the hero to be in terms of role? What do we want it to play like? All that kind of stuff. And Jeff mentions in the clip that the type of hero that Echo has been decided already. He knows what type of hero she is, which definitely means no concept phase. Most likely not a tank. I mean, Jeff could be lying to us, but most likely not a tank. I would assume a support, but she could be a damage hero for all we know. But you look at that, and you look at the development time that it would take to finalize Echo in terms of her design, in terms of her voice, all this other stuff. You have to be confident in where she is in the status of the hero in order to even do that. In order to put her in, you would have to be ready to put her in the game. She has to be at a point where she's good enough and far along enough in development to be put into an animated short with a finalized design, a chosen voice actress, all this other stuff, right? You take a look at Brigitte, right? Obviously, we saw Brigitte in the comics, right, before we saw her in the Reinhardt animated short, and then and before we saw her as a hero. But she had a voice actress in that animated short, so clearly they knew at that point in time that Brigitte was going to be in the game soon, right? Or they knew at that point in time that they were going to put Brigitte in the game. So, for all we know, the hero was really far along in development, and then they decided they were going to do an animated short for Reinhardt, and then they were going to include Brigitte in the animated short because that's just who her character is. So you look at this, you have to think Echo has to be pretty far along in development. The other thing I'd like to look at is the pattern with the way heroes are revealed and the way that they are kind of grouped up in a weird way. When you look at Doomfist, right? Doomfist was a character who they wanted to put in the game, right? There's kind of a different way that they add heroes. There's heroes that that are characters in the lore already that they want to add into the game, and then you have characters that are just completely they want to have a play style, a type of hero they want to make, and then they just create a character around it, or they put that on top of an already existing character, but that character wasn't always necessarily going to be a hero. Brigitte was just the paladin, and then they decided, oh, this would work on Brigitte, so they put it on Brigitte, whereas someone like Moira, I'm pretty sure they wanted a character that played like that, and then they just made Moira. But Doomfist, when he was getting announced, right, they kind of announced Arisa, and were like, we're not quite ready for Doomfist yet, but he's coming, and then Doomfist came. The immediate next hero. They said the same thing with Ashe. Echo's not quite ready, but she's coming. And then, of course, Jeff Kaplan said, but Echo also won't be Hero 30. Well, what this plays a big part in me believing she'll probably be Hero 31. But let's dive a little bit deeper into why Echo might be Hero 31. As I mentioned before, Jeff Kaplan said that there are 6 different heroes in development at the current moment, right, in terms of different stages. You could, I guess, technically say 7 because Ashe is technically still in development. They might tweak her, obviously, on the PTR, but she's in that public testing phase. And then you have Hero 30 in the play testing phase. So that leaves heroes 31 through 35, because if you have 29 heroes, and then you have, I guess technically it's 36, because you have 6 in development. No, it would be still be 29. So if you have 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. That's 6 in development. 35 is most likely in that prototyping or concept phase. Probably the concept phase, if you mentioned that there's some that are in concept phase. So that means the last hero in the line is probably in the concept phase, and potentially the second to last one, but they could also be in prototyping. But there's kind of different phases. And if you look at just logically, it wouldn't make a lot of sense for Echo to be this far along in terms of design, the voice actress, putting them in an animated short. It wouldn't make a lot of sense for them to do that if Echo was Hero 34 or 35, right? So we can get rid of those. So that leaves 31, 32, and 33. Jeff Kaplan also mentioned earlier, or later in the live stream, stuff about comics, and they're going to start looking into the story development and story content I personally think that a lot of that comes down to a desire to expand upon a lot of these stories that they haven't been telling yet. And then he said there was a good reason why the comics had slowed down, but they're going to get back into doing the comics. And we know they hired a fiction writer a couple months ago, over the summer at some point. I don't remember exactly when. Sorry about that. But they hired a fiction writer. So logically, it would make sense that they start to dive into a lot of these stories that they haven't really gone into yet, and all this other stuff that we haven't seen from them yet. And I think when you look at that, and that Jeff wants to tell more stories about Echo, I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of Echo relatively soon, because they're excited to get into it. But if she's not Hero 30, she's got to be soon. And the other thing about Echo is that if she's this important character and you show her now and then you just wait, over a year to show her again, then why would you bother showing her? It doesn't make any sense to say this character is really important, or excited to show more about her, but she's not going to be the next hero, and then we're also not going to have her released until 2020. It doesn't make any sense for that to be the case. Now, why do I say 2020? Because she might be Hero 32. Based on the trends of the past two BlizzCons, I don't believe that they would release Echo as the BlizzCon hero, or announce her as the BlizzCon hero. And the reason why is because for the past two BlizzCons, the hero that they announced was an unknown, right? No one really knew who they were. Moira had been teased in a comic. We didn't know who she was. Ashe, we had no idea about Ashe before BlizzCon, and then we get the animated short, and they're like, the new hero is Ashe. So you look at that, and you look at the fact that Echo's ready, right? The heroes we've gotten at BlizzCon for the past 2 years were unknowns prior to their announcement. They didn't tease them, with a build-up like they did with Brigitte and Wrecking Ball, even Sombra, which Sombra I believe was a BlizzCon announcement, but that was like the first BlizzCon after the game was released, and they'd built that one up for a while, so that one's a little bit different. But the past two BlizzCons, they haven't been doing that. So I think if you look just as logically as you can at the game, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for them to push Echo to that BlizzCon slot, which means then you're either at Hero 31 or Hero 33. Now, I think it's in one of those two slots, because if Echo is so important, I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to have her incorporated in an Archives mission. And obviously, if she's not Hero 30, then she's not going to be out before the 2019 Archives, so she would have to be out before the 2020 Archives, and in order for her to be out before then, she'd have to be released either in 31, 32, or 33. So that's kind of like, that doesn't mean anything necessarily. They don't have to do an Archives mission around Echo, but with how far along they seem to be, they have a voice actress, they have a finalized model, they know what kind of hero she is, all the evidence points to Echo being in the game soon. Maybe not as Hero 30, as Jeff Kaplan said, but maybe as Hero 31, maybe as Hero 32, maybe as Hero 33. But I think sooner rather than later we will be seeing Echo as a playable hero in the game. Sorry if this video felt like it was a little rambly. It was a little bit rambly at times, and I'm sorry about that, but I wanted to make sure I got all my points across and also didn't make the video too long. But if you enjoyed, if you have your own theories on Echo, anything like that, let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you enjoyed, consider liking and subscribing, as I make Overwatch content all the time, multiple times a week, at least for the next couple months, and then hopefully from there I can keep it rolling. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for everything. It's been awesome. But yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. I'll see you all tomorrow, in fact. And bye.